many years since we put that album out that we actually made a new soundtrack album, which is by the Coup, for the movie. So that will also be coming out this summer.
So I wish we could play music from the soundtrack of Sorry to Bother You, but since it's not going to be released until later in July, I thought we'd hear a track from the album Sorry to Bother You, which came out in, what did you say, 2012? Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a song that I think provides a similar energy to the song that you use on the soundtrack at the beginning of the movie Sorry to Bother You, and it's called The Magic Clap. You want to say a few words about it?
Yeah, and as far as that
Stay away.
All right, let's do this.
This is going to be very boring, just to let you know. I haven't done this in a while.
in the 79 Granada last night, and where we had Roger Guinevere Smith play Jesus the Pimp. And yeah, so I did that. And then, with some of our other videos, I was involved in various ways, but no, only co-directed that one.
Did the music videos that your band was in help prepare you at all for making your new movie, Sorry to Bother You?
Well, I'll tell you what, I told investors that they did. But it's a different art form. And so there were all sorts of things that I just was worried about that I didn't know. Like, okay, if you have a scene and there's 12 extras going up and down the street, who's the person that tells them to go and stop? Little things like that. So a lot of those questions also got answered because I took part in the Sundance Labs, and then forced people to be my mentors in other cases.
So you're very political as a person. Your music is political. The film has a lot of political messages in it. Your father was very political as well.
What do you mean by political?
He was a civil rights activist. He worked with the Panthers. I mean, like,
Yes.
Literally involved.
I agree with you. I'm just
activist.
kind of.
I should say political
It's just a pet
activist.
peeve when people call it.
Yeah,
political,
I understand. But your father was an activist, and there's even
Yes.
a photo of him with Malcolm X and Floyd McKissick, who'd been the head of CORE, the Congress on Racial Equality, one of the big civil rights groups from the 60s. What does that photo mean to you?
I think it represents his legacy of being involved with civil rights movements and fighting for change. He joined the NAACP at the age of 12, and started the Durham, North Carolina chapter of the NAACP at that age. Meaning there was nobody in Durham, and they needed somebody to start it there. And he later joined CORE and came to San Francisco. So that picture really says a lot for me. He was moderating a debate between Floyd McKissick and Malcolm X, and he was 18 years old. So him, it shows me a driven young man.
So your haircut looks like you could be in the Panthers in the 60s. Just kind of big afro with kind of like early 70s big sideburns. Are you trying to make a statement with your hair about your connection to that period?
I think when I first got it, I got sideburns because in my early 20s, I looked like I was 12. The sideburns helped out with that. And after that, it's just because, I got used to it. And actually, times when I wanted to change my hairstyle, I knew that so many people knew us from music videos and didn't necessarily know the name of the group, but knew it was that dude with the afro, that I knew that me being on the cover with that hairstyle let a lot of people know that this was our album. But I do think, obviously, I like how it looks because I would change it real quick if I did. It makes my nose smaller.
Now we're getting to the real answer. You're very anti-capitalist, and now you're in the movie industry. You stand the possibility of having a movie career and actually making a lot of money. What have you promised yourself about how you'd handle money and fame if you get it?
Well, I have so many plans of things that I need to do, projects and things that some are art related, some are, having to do with other grassroots campaigns, that a lot of that. And I've also gone 20 years without any money, that a lot of that money is going to be gone as soon as it comes to me, if it does, knock on wood. But the rest of it I've just got so many plans that I don't have to make promises to myself of what I personally spend, because I have these other projects that the money will go to.
Boots Riley, it was great to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Boots Riley wrote and directed the new film Sorry to Bother You, and fronts the hip-hop band The Coup, which did music for the film. HBO begins an 8-part miniseries this weekend called Sharp Objects, based on the novel by Gillian Flynn, who also wrote Gone Girl. It stars Amy Adams as a troubled newspaper reporter who returns to her small hometown to investigate the disappearance or murders of a series of young women. Our TV critic David Bianculli says, Sharp Objects begins with some very familiar trappings of the mystery genre, but then becomes distinctly and disturbingly unique. Here's his review.
The basic framework of Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects would seem to be leading us down a very familiar path. You've seen it all before. A young girl goes missing, then another is found dead. The story's hero, sometimes a cop or private eye, in this case a newspaper reporter, returns to his old hometown to investigate. Behind every door and every cryptic conversation are dark secrets. But our hard-boiled, hard-drinking hero is persistent, even when old memories and new conflicts bubble to the surface. It's classic modern-day film noir, until it isn't. For one thing, and this is central and crucial, the protagonist in Sharp Objects is a woman, not a man. Already this TV season, we've seen another familiar genre, the spy story, flipped and re-energized in BBC America's Killing Eve by having women playing both the hunter and the hunted. Last year, on the HBO miniseries Big Little Lies, we saw a murder mystery untangle very slowly, as we spent time getting to know the private, sometimes sordid lives of some seemingly happy suburban women. The 8-part Sharp Objects is directed by Jean-Marc Vallée, who also directed Big Little Lies. And the star, playing the best role of her already impressive and varied career, is Amy Adams. In the movies, Amy Adams has played everything from a Disney princess come to life in Enchanted to an untrustworthy femme fatale in American Hustle. But in Sharp Objects, she plays something new, startlingly new. She plays a reporter named Camille, who is dispatched to make a reluctant return to her small Missouri town to investigate what may be the work of a serial killer preying on teen girls. The clues and the facts come slowly, but it quickly becomes clear that Camille left town long ago for some very good reasons. And though she got away, she's still haunted by her past and keeps it at bay with some very destructive behaviors. She drinks too much, keeps to herself, and engages in self-mutilation, cutting words into her own skin, then hiding them from view. She's hurt, angry, and isolated. And as she tries to solve her mystery, we try to solve hers. Also working the case is a visiting police detective, played by Chris Messina, who played Amy Adams' husband in the much lighter Julie and Julia. In this scene, they encounter one another at the local bar. He's there to keep tabs on one of his suspects, the teen brother of one of the victims. She's there to drink, at least until she too learns about the brother. But before she can approach him, the detective steps in.
You don't think he is?
Funny girl.
Come on, you know I'm going to get the story one way or another. Wouldn't you rather be in control of the conversation?
That's a good line.
Maybe, but it's true.
Well, like you're about to go talk to young Keen over there.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, reporters aren't supposed to talk to minors without parental permission.
Jesus, I was just going to hit on him.
Oh, that's different.
So is he a suspect?
No, I can't answer that.
So he is.
Everybody's a suspect right now.
So that's it? You don't have any leads, nothing?
Camille, can we just talk? I'm starved for some city folk conversation. I'll ask you a question about your life. You can ask about mine.
Yeah, I don't really do that. Chat.
Got it. Okay. Well, Camille, enjoy your evening.
Detective?
When it comes to dealing with the regular townfolk, though, Camille is much more vulnerable. The people who knew her as a kid treat her the same way they did then. Her fellow former cheerleaders are just as cliquish. The boys, now men, are just as boorish. And her mother, Adora, beautifully played by Patricia Clarkson,